The room smelled of lavender and regret, the air thick with the hum of a white noise machine meant to muffle truths too raw for the outside world. My wife, Clara, sat across from me in the therapist's office, her hands folded tightly in her lap, her lips a thin line of defiance. Dr. Ellis, perched in her leather chair, scribbled something on her notepad, her pen scratching like a distant insect. I clutched my phone, its edges biting into my palm, and when Clara's voice sliced through the silence, "You're just jealous, Mark. You always have been." I pressed play. The recorded voice, hers unmistakable, poured from the speaker low and intimate, promising someone else the pieces of her I'd thought were mine. Her face froze, eyes wide, as if the air had turned to glass. The session had started innocently enough, or so I'd told myself. Clara's perfume, sharp and floral, clung to the wool of her sweater as she leaned forward, her words measured but barbed. "He's possessive," she told Dr. Ellis, her gaze flicking to me, daring me to object. "He checks my phone, asks where I've been. It's exhausting." Her voice trembled, not with fear but with rehearsed fragility, a performance I'd seen too many times. I sat rigid on the couch, the leather creaking under me, my pulse thudding in my ears. Possessive? I wanted to laugh. If only she knew what I'd found. If only she knew I'd stopped trusting her months ago, when her late nights at the gallery became less about art and more about him. It started with small things, the kind you dismiss because love makes you stupid. A new necklace, gold and delicate, dangling against her collarbone. A gift she claimed was from her sister, though I'd never seen her wear it before. The way her phone buzzed at odd hours, her fingers swiping it silent before I could glance over. The scent of cedarwood cologne on her coat, alien to our home. I'd rationalized it all: overtime stress, my own paranoia. But doubt is a weed. It grows in the cracks of your certainty. By the time I downloaded the call recorder app, I wasn't looking for proof. I was looking for a reason to stay. Dr. Ellis tilted her head, her glasses catching the dim light. "Mark, how do you respond to that?" Her voice was calm, clinical, but it felt like a spotlight pinning me down. I opened my mouth, but Clara cut in, her words sharp as a blade. "He doesn't trust me. Never has." Her eyes locked on mine, and for a moment I saw something flicker, guilt maybe, or fear. But it vanished, replaced by that cool practice stare. My thumb hovered over my phone. I could have let it go, could have swallowed the accusations and played the part of the paranoid husband. But the weight of her lies pressed against my chest, heavy as stone. "I'm not jealous," I said, my voice low, unsteady. "I'm not the one hiding things." Clara's lips parted, a protest forming, but I pressed play. The recording crackled to life, her voice soft and sultry, words I'd heard through sleepless nights as I replayed the file in secret. "I can't stop thinking about you. Mark's asleep. He doesn't suspect anything." The room stilled. Clara's breath hitched, her hands gripping the armrests as if they could anchor her. Dr. Ellis's pen stopped moving. The white noise machine droned on, oblivious. I hadn't meant to find it. 2 weeks ago, I'd borrowed her phone to call my mother, mine was dead, and saw the app open, a call still recording. Curiosity, or maybe instinct, made me listen. Her voice, laced with a warmth she hadn't shown me in months, spoke to someone named Ethan. A colleague, she'd said once, just a gallery curator with a knack for abstract art. But the way she said his name in the dark, the way it curled around her tongue, told me he was more. I'd copied the file, let it fester in my phone, a poison I carried until today. Clara's face crumpled, but only for a second. She straightened, her jaw tight. "That's not what you think," she said, her voice brittle. "It's out of context." Dr. Ellis raised an eyebrow, her neutrality infuriating. "Can you explain the context, Clara?" she asked. I wanted to scream. Context? What context justifies whispering, "I need you," to another man while your husband sleeps beside you? But I stayed silent, my heart a fist in my chest, waiting for her to unravel. She didn't. Instead, she turned to me, her eyes glistening with tears she could summon at will. "Mark, you don't understand. Ethan's just a friend." I was venting. Venting. The word landed like a slap. I thought of the nights I'd lain awake, her side of the bed cold, her excuses piling up like unpaid bills. Late meetings. Client dinners. Gallery openings. I'd believed her because I wanted to, because the alternative was a knife to the gut. But the recording didn't lie. It held her truth, raw and unfiltered, and now it hung between us like smoke. Dr. Ellis leaned forward. Clara, this sounds like a significant breach of trust. Can you acknowledge how this might feel for Mark? Clara's gaze darted away, her fingers twisting the hem of her sweater. I didn't mean to hurt him, she whispered. It wasn't physical. The word physical sliced through me. So it was something else, emotional, intimate, a betrayal carved in whispers instead of touch. Somehow that felt worse. My throat burned and I hated how much I still loved her, how even now I wanted to believe her lies. I stood, the room too small, the air too thick. You didn't mean to hurt me? My voice cracked, anger bleeding through. You lied to my face for months. You let me think I was crazy. Clara flinched, but her eyes hardened. You were suffocating me, Mark. Always watching, always questioning. Ethan listened. Her words were a match to gasoline. Listened? I'd spent years listening to her dreams, her fears, her endless plans for a gallery of her own. I'd held her when her father died, when the world felt too heavy. And now Ethan listened. Dr. Ellis tried to steer us back, her voice a lifeline I didn't want. Let's pause. Mark, can you share what you're feeling? What was I feeling? Rage, yes, but also grief, a bone-deep ache for the woman I thought I knew. I saw us in fragments, our first date, her laugh echoing in a rainy park, our wedding, her hand warm in mine, the quiet mornings when we'd read in bed, her feet tucked under me. Was it all a lie? Or just the parts I'd missed, the cracks I'd ignored? I feel like I don't know you, I said finally, my voice barely above a whisper. Clara's tears fell now, real or not, I couldn't tell. I'm sorry, she said, but it sounded hollow, like an echo from someone already gone. Dr. Ellis suggested we end the session, give ourselves space to process. But as we left, Clara reached for my hand, and I let her take it, her skin warm and familiar. In the car, she stared out the window, silent. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. She's lying. Ask about the hotel. My stomach dropped. Ethan or someone else. The truth was a labyrinth, and I was lost in it.